Welcome to my Historic Capitals of America series. This is a journey through the cities that governed a nation. Join me as I explore the world's capital cities through videos featuring their streets, landmarks, culture, and everyday life. Subscribe and follow the journey from one capital to the next. Dover, Delaware. The first state's quiet strength. At the center of Delaware's gentle plain, where the St. Johns River bends toward the bay and old brick streets gather around a public green, stands Dover, a capital with a long memory. Its scale is modest, but its history reaches into the earliest years of English settlement, colonial government, revolution, and union. Dover does not overwhelm by size. It speaks through courthouse squares, tavern sites, state buildings, farm roads, and the careful way a small capital can hold the story of a whole state. In Delaware, where distances are short, but history runs deep, Dover became the place where public life found a lasting home. Long before William Penn ordered a town laid out here, this region belonged to native peoples of the Delaware Valley, especially Lenape communities whose lives were tied to rivers, forests, marshes, and seasonal movement. The St. Johns and nearby waterways offered fish, travel, and access to the Delaware Bay. The land was not empty. It was known, used, named, and remembered by people whose presence shaped the region before European maps fixed new borders upon it. That earlier history gives Dover's story a deeper beginning, one rooted in land and water before colonial law. English control grew after the 17th century contests among Dutch, Swedish, and English powers along the Delaware. In 1683, William Penn, proprietor of Pennsylvania and the lower counties on the Delaware, directed that a court town be established for Kent County. The site was named Dover after Dover in Kent, England. The choice reflected both practical government and English memory. A courthouse town did not need a great harbor or a dramatic skyline. It needed access, order, and a place where people could gather to settle disputes, record deeds, conduct trade, and hear public news. The town was more formally plotted in 1717 around an existing courthouse and jail. At its center was the Green, an open public square that became the heart of civic life. Around it stood homes, shops, taverns, churches, and government buildings. In colonial towns, a green was more than decoration. It was a meeting ground, a marketplace, a parade field, and a stage for announcements that changed lives. Dover's Green would become exactly that, a civic room beneath the sky where county business, provincial politics, and national events crossed paths. During the Revolution, Dover's central location became a matter of safety as well as convenience. Newcastle, closer to the Delaware River and more exposed to British ships and raids, no longer seemed secure enough for the work of government. In 1777, Delaware's capital functions moved to Dover, placing the young state's public business in a town better protected from attack and more central to its three counties. The move tied Dover permanently to the Revolution's unsettled years, when government had to be practical, mobile, and determined. The Revolution had already touched Dover. On July 29, 1776, the Declaration of Independence was publicly read to the people of Dover from the porch of the old courthouse that stood on the green. That moment placed the town inside the country's founding drama. It was not a battlefield like Trenton or Yorktown, but it was a place where words became public commitment. Citizens heard that the colonies had declared themselves free and independent states, and the news moved from paper into community memory. Dover's most famous national moment came on December 7, 1787. Delegates gathered at the Golden Fleece Tavern near the Green to consider the proposed United States Constitution. Delaware ratified unanimously, becoming the first state to approve the new federal frame of government. That decision gave Delaware its lasting nickname, the First State, and gave Dover a permanent place in the story of American Union. In that tavern setting, the small state acted quickly and decisively, helping launch a government meant to bind 13 states more firmly together. As Delaware settled into statehood, it needed a permanent building worthy of its public duties. The old State House was begun in 1787 and completed in the early 1790s. Built in Georgian style, it served both state and Kent County government. Its brick walls, balanced windows, cupola, and interior chambers reflected the restrained dignity of the early republic. The building was never meant to intimidate. It was built for work, law, debate, and ceremony. Within its rooms, legislators argued policy, courts heard cases, governors conducted business, and citizens watched public life take form. The Old State House also reminds readers that early American government was often shared, local, and crowded. State and county functions existed side by side. Courtrooms and legislative rooms occupied the same civic landscape. That closeness gave Dover a distinctive character. The capital was not removed from ordinary life. It stood beside taverns, churches, shops, homes, and streets where people knew one another. Government was formal, but it was also close enough to be seen, heard, and questioned. Through the 19th century, Dover grew as a market town for central Delaware's farms. Wheat, corn, fruit, and later other agricultural products moved through the area. Roads and rail connections strengthened its links to Wilmington, Philadelphia, and the Delmarva Peninsula. The town remained smaller than Wilmington, but its authority came from its role as seat of government and county life. The surrounding countryside shaped its rhythm, and the capital served farmers, lawyers, merchants, teachers, ministers, and families who came to town for business, worship, law, and trade. Dover's history also includes the difficult realities of slavery, freedom, and divided loyalties. Delaware was a slave state that remained in the Union during the Civil War, and its communities held conflicting views about race, labor, and liberty. Free black residents, enslaved people, abolitionists, and defenders of slavery all belonged to the state's complicated story. Public buildings in Dover witnessed debates over law and rights, while the surrounding society struggled with inequality. A more honest history of the capital must hold both civic pride and moral conflict together. Education also became part of Dover's identity. The State College for Colored Students, founded in 1891 and later known as Delaware State University, grew into an important institution of higher learning. Its presence expanded the city's meaning beyond government alone. Dover became a place where public service, education, and African American achievement stood within the same landscape. That history deepens the capital's voice and connects it to the broader American struggle for opportunity. By the 20th century, Delaware needed more room for its legislature. Legislative Hall was dedicated in 1933, built in Georgian Revival style near the Green and opposite the older State House. The move did not erase the past. It created a conversation between old and new. The old State House preserved the early Republic scale, while Legislative Hall carried modern government into a larger age. Later additions expanded the building, but the setting remained rooted in Dover's historic center. Modern Dover also grew through military service and transportation. During the Second World War, the airfield that became Dover Air Force Base added a new dimension to the city. The base connected Dover to national defense, global movement, and the solemn duty of receiving American service members who died overseas. That role gives the city a gravity beyond its size. It is both a state capital and a place of national service. In Dover today, the marks of earlier generations still remain. The Green still feels like the city's historic heart. The old State House stands with careful dignity. Legislative Hall carries the work of present government, and nearby streets hold museums, archives, churches, offices, and homes. The landscape is calm, but not empty. It is filled with decisions, ceremonies, conflicts, and continuities that shape Delaware from colony to state. Dover's strength rests in its steady service to Delaware's public life. Founded for law, chosen for safety, remembered for ratification, and preserved through public care, the city holds a meaning far larger than its size. The first state's quiet strength remains a capital of measured strength, where brick buildings, open grass, river roads, and public records gather the story of a state. In Dover, history does not need a grand stage to matter. It turns in the places where people meet, listen, decide, and keep faith with what came before.